Makanaka baba, makanaka, makanaka baba, makanaka, makanaka baba, makanaka.
Switch on to Rashman.
Ukuba uphinde wakuchukumisa, takukunqoma apha kwesisihlalo.
Does she speak English?
When she wants to.
Rapid fire.
And to the artists, anyone, whatever you do, the continent needs it. Whatever you do. I know we have sometimes parents, relatives who tell us what to be. Here is where you find your greatness on your own, which is your strongest self. If your passion keeps pulsating towards the arts, just go with it.
I stepped out and I wanted to create a play that I was not going to act in. And I wanted to create a piece of work that gave life to and light to the stories of African women in war. And that was because I'd seen images about African women in this particular war, and the experiences that they have, I think, are largely underexposed and underrepresented. So to me, it was very important to try to tell those stories. You know, girls have to understand that they're stepping out into the world and that bullies will try to quieten them and to oppress their power, take away their power. And I was in primary school, what you guys call grade school. I was having a very clear and I believe respectful argument with a young man who was probably about a year or two ahead of me in primary school. He did not like the fact that my logic was outworking and out-logicking his logic. So his final response to my ability to basically outthink him was to punch me continually in the stomach. That was a moment for me, because I could do one of two things. I could accept that and go somewhere quietly and cry, or I could say, this is not right, and pursue justice. I remember turning away from him like a robot and just kind of marching over to the principal's office. And it was a woman. As I was walking, I started to cry, and I was the sort of kid that doesn't cry easy. I went to her, and I think she was also shocked to see me cry. Thankfully, she dealt with the situation swiftly. The idea has to be planted in a young boy's mind that violence against a girl or a woman is wrong. If she had not validated that moment, I don't know how long it would have taken me to understand that. And what I learned was the bully is only as powerful as you let them be. They are banking on your weakness. The world and its various oppressions against those like us wanted to tell us that we as women, we don't do well together, that we are competitive or we have catfights and petty disagreements and can't get things done when we try. It tells us to compete, that there's never enough, that we are easily replaceable, that we must consider each other's presence a threat, but we know that not to be true. A sister, a real sister, well, we know better. She knows that her most profound strength, her power, her magic is often actualized, nourished, and recognized by none other than another sister. She knows she can share her darkest fears and express her deepest problems and be supported, renewed, revived by none other than a sister. She knows she can move mountains, change tides, break through ceilings when she is shoulder to shoulder with another sister. She also knows that no one, not one other human being, can check her and set her straight. Be the iron that sharpens her iron. No one does that better than another sister.
sisters. Sisters are the vibranium to the other's Wakanda, okay? Sisters get each other through to their greatness, carry each of them on their backs, and bring each other to a place anew. I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for my sisters.
Come to us for answers. They come to us because they now want to share their struggles with how we got to a place of confidence in who we are and where we're from. And that's what I love about it, is there's a sort of a reclaiming taking place that's resonating. Just now in South Africa, I was with a group of students from the African Leadership Academy, who are students from across the continent. My friend Fred Swaniker started it, and they're students who are from Cape to Cairo, and they're all there because they're the best and the brightest, and they get to really explore how they will lead Africa in the future. And they were all asking me all these questions, and they're looking at me like, help us to really understand the pride in who we are and how we move our continent forward. And that's now what the responsibility comes with. It's now we have to encourage and edify as people are feeling the resonance in this film that's telling them to be proud of who they are and not believe the lie that they're deficient because they're different. We do have to build. We're standing on shoulders, and we have to keep building, and we are capable of creating narrative and bringing it forward. And like people say, well, what about, will they let this happen? And I'm like, who's they? Who is they? We are they. We are they now. We are they now.
I wasn't around a lot of artists when I was growing up. Not everyone was I had some support, but just go where your greatness lies. You'll find your path. But that's your fuel, is where your passion is. There's a lot more responsibility that comes with how I access and give voice to women around the globe who are still dealing with inequality. And that's the key thing. It's about, my focus is, she is equal. Like, why are we still dealing with any degree of gender inequality? There is so much that we are losing out on. There's so much of a better life that women and girls could be experiencing, but we have to get that part right. And that is something that, working with UN Women who are deeply entrenched in these issues across the globe, and really will allow me to be more of an advocate, be more of an amplifier of the work of women whose efforts cost them sometimes their very life saving. Now, we've heard the lies, but here's the truth. The harvest is upon us. The time is now. We lack nothing. Our success is greater than our failures. We are here, and we are ready to determine our own destinies. We must reap the seeds that were planted by our foremothers. From Johannesburg to London to Oakland to Los Angeles, workers are needed to till the soil of our greatness that rests in the bosom of our youth. Gather and the world needs you. It really does. It needs your mind. It needs your individuality. It needs your vision, your tenacity, your courage, your beliefs, your originality. And I can't wait to see what you guys bring. Because God knows McAllister attracts the most unique and globally concerned individuals you will find anywhere. Let yourselves be driven by your outrage, by your hope, and by your love. Don't let anything you face out there rob you of that, of this. The world is yours to shape and make better.